This is Betting Across America on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Football season is here. It's time to download BetMGM Sports. It's Nevada's premier sports betting app. BetMGM has all of your favorite wagering options along with in-game betting, boosted odds specials, and much, much more. Download the BetMGM app today and stop by any MGM casino on the Strip with your state-issued ID to open up an account and start placing sports bets from anywhere in Nevada. Whatever your sport, whatever your betting style, you're going to love BetMGM's state-of-the-art technology and fan-friendly specials every day of the week. Visit BetMGM for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older and physically located in Nevada. Please gamble responsibly. If you have a problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Okay, we've got drama in Auburn, between the hedges, because we said Georgia, first half, -8. Okay, you can exhale if you played Georgia because you stopped Auburn, fourth down. They're going to kick the field goal, 51 seconds to go. Not so fast because we get an offsides penalty on Georgia. And now it looks like Auburn is changing their mind, and I believe they're going to go for it now at fourth and goal with the half the distance penalty, moving it inside the 5. My goodness, if you've got Georgia, you're just going, Kirby, tell your guys not to jump off sides, and I've already won this. Make or miss, it doesn't matter. Now you got to sweat this out as Auburn, and you think this is the right move for the Tigers to go for this.
You have to, and I know they just showed that stat on the telecast. Georgia hasn't allowed a touchdown since September 18th against South Carolina, 160 minutes of game time, but fourth and goal from about the 3.5 essentially here. I think if you're Auburn, you're not going to kick that many field goals to get back ahead of Georgia. You absolutely have to go for it. We shall see if it pays off.
It does not.
No flags coming. The receiver asking for one, but just good coverage, and that's why Georgia's a good defense. And, I think you kind of had to do that here. You were damned if you did, damned if you didn't. But Georgia looks like they are going to hang on, barring a turnover in their own end. 17-3, Hugga.
It looks like those sweaty palms are going to pay off if you back Georgia, but you're still like, man, just don't jump off sides. I don't need to sweat this. But again, maybe it helped them and save 3 points off the for the final score here because 17-3. So Auburn's still going to be down 2 scores, we believe, going into halftime. Let's see for the final 46 seconds. But if you're a Georgia first half backer, it's looking pretty darn good. Let's go back out to Ben Fawkes. He is live at Mandalay Bay. And Ben, I'm wondering about the atmosphere over there. Is there a partial crowd here in this afternoon wave of games that you're seeing?
Yeah, I think if I had to describe it, I'd say definitely pro-Iowa. Been a lot of groans, I would say, recently. Not too happy there. And pro-Georgia. So a big cheer, certainly, for that broken-up pass in the end zone on fourth down. Looks like Georgia will be able to run the clock out here on the first half, go up 17-3. So, again, not covering the number yet, but getting close, and that defense has looked pretty good so far.
Yeah, we're not saying that Georgia's the new Alabama in the first half plays, but again, if you play Georgia right now, they are deep inside their own 3, but it looks like they have enough room to take a knee. What a sweaty bet this was, but it looks like you're going to cash that first half ticket as they are finally seconds away from actually going to halftime. Ben, I do want to ask about the other juggernaut in the SEC. Of course, that is Alabama. What about the tickets that you're seeing there? Because Wes and I have been talking about it. It feels like they are the trend is to bet them first half because you're cashing that seemingly every week. Are you seeing any movement there?
Yeah, this has been one-way traffic, guys. All Alabama, 91% of the bets, 93% of the handle at BetMGM books across the country. As you'd kind of expect, again, Alabama's just kind of a machine and a juggernaut, and seems like Alabama and Georgia are the 2 best teams in college football right now. And like you said, you're paying a tax probably to cover that first half spread. But if it's 9 or 10 or 12.5 or 14, it doesn't really matter if they're 21 at halftime. Exactly.
They don't care. Number sensitivity is not an option.
No, and you guys are right on.
100% correct.
And they have gone to the half, so Georgia did cash that first half ticket. This is the new trend that we're seeing with these juggernauts, specifically with Georgia and Alabama, that you feel like those first half plays are in play. So let's see if the books ever can adjust high enough for it to get the people to go the other way. But right now, to your point, to Ben's point, it is all one-way traffic with Alabama. Thanks to Ben Fawkes doing a great job for us out there at Mandalay Bay. Okay, let's stay in the SEC, and let's play our favorite game here. It is buy, sell, or hold. When you look at these teams in the SEC, let's start off with Alabama. So again, you go, oh, minus 145. Well, that's too good to be true. Wes, is it? Are you buying, holding, or selling that number?
Yeah, I look, I have a Georgia national championship bet, so I did think maybe this was the year. I think their defense is better than Alabama's. Their offense, they got to find something, though. I think the Georgia Bulldogs, especially in the passing game. By the way, just looking at the stats, only 180 yards for Georgia, 140 through the air for Bennett. So surprisingly enough, Georgia only gaining 2.0 yards a carry on the ground against this Auburn defense, which is pretty solid in its own right. But look, I mean, it's almost like I would buy Alabama and Georgia and sell everybody else. This is just to me now that Florida has lost 2 games. I know Kentucky is still undefeated, and I know that there's some other good teams. I still think Ole Miss is pretty good, even with just 1 loss. Now Tennessee seems like they're resurging a little bit. They could be the team maybe to bet week to week that when they're a big dog against a good team. I know they didn't cover against Florida. Tennessee might be one of those cover teams because now they're starting to get a hang of this Josh Heupel up-tempo offense, and they won 45-20 over South Carolina today. But you look, it is clearly for Alabama and Georgia. Now, Georgia could stub their toe in the cocktail party against Florida, and then all bets are off. But this is just a two-way race. I mean, you had Mississippi and Arkansas. We saw those offenses, how potent they are. They're really good teams.
They are.
They're ranked 13th and 17th, respectively, for a reason. And they got absolutely manhandled. It was like, like I said, it was a super middleweight fighting against a heavyweight in terms of Ole Miss against Alabama. Same with Arkansas and Georgia. So, I wish I could say, because I love going down a futures board. Nothing makes me more happy on this show than to go down a futures board and see if we can find a little dark horse with some value down the board. I can't find it in the Southeastern Conference.
And again, I think some people are going to go, wait a minute, you guys aren't talking about Kentucky at 30-1. But, we kind of look at them today against LSU and think that might be a tough spot in and of itself.
And if they get by that, guess who they have next week? They go between the hedges in Athens against Georgia. So, look, it never gets easier in the SEC. Look at this Kentucky schedule. And, look, they're 5-0. Congratulations. Put off basketball season at Rupp Arena down in Lexington for a while. But look at this. You get LSU at home tonight. You get by that, then you go to Georgia. Then you go to Mississippi State, who has improved under Mike Leach. Now 3-2. You get a Tennessee team that offensively very explosive now with Hendon Hooker at quarterback, Josh Heupel manning the controls in his first year. Then you get a couple games in November at Vanderbilt and Mexico State at home, and then you close with the rival in the Commonwealth Cup down in Kentucky against Louisville. But it's going to get harder for Kentucky. They don't have the offense to compete with these teams. You look at Kentucky last week against Florida. They had 224 yards. They were 7-17 for 87 yards passing. They only scored 16 at South Carolina. Kentucky had 332 yards. You got to have some offense if you want to keep up with, especially Alabama, but even Georgia.
Again, when you look at that schedule, now you took them pre-flop for 7 wins for the regular season. Boy, you're loving that, right? With a chance of already at 5-0. Great start for Mark Stoops and company. A winnable game against LSU tonight. But you're right. It looks like, again, if you want to really take the long shot here at 30-1, you got to beat LSU today.
Yeah.
Then you got to beat Georgia next week.
Mississippi State, which will not be easy.
No, and then theoretically, either Georgia, it would be Alabama. It would be, you would think.
Yeah, because they don't play them in the regular season because they're in the East Division. So they wouldn't get them to Atlanta. Obviously, if Kentucky gets to Atlanta, then your 30-1 ticket, at least, you got some hedging opportunity on money lines. But I just think, even though the East Division is the weaker division, so I know that's why Kentucky, maybe people are looking at that. That's a big hill to climb, I think, for the Wildcats. Let's crawl before we can walk. Let's get through the Bayou Bengals before we start thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're going to get through those Bayou Bengals. So again, at 30-1, even though you think you have some value there, maybe not with those pitfalls ahead. And certainly Georgia next week would be the biggest pitfall of all.